Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy Thursday to everyone. Good morning. Welcome to our Mind the Moment's Thursday morning gathering, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. This is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these important practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino. Very happy on Thursdays to have our friend Tara Healey here, founder and director of Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare's mindfulness program. Hello, Tara.
Hello, Suzanne. So nice to see you this morning. Really nice to see people joining. Welcome.
Yeah, so nice to have everyone here this morning to round out our week with our Thursday morning session. So if anybody's new, a special welcome to you this morning. We'll explain the whole process and take you right along with us as we meditate, and a special welcome as well to our regulars. So today, Tara will start us off with a question, as she always does, and then we'll have a chance to chat a little bit. She'll lead us in she'll share some words with us and then lead us in at least a 12-minute guided practice. And after that, we'll have time for questions. So if you go to the bottom of your Zoom screen and open up your chat, and when you do that, you can click on the blue drop-down menu that says everyone, and it says hosts and panelists, and click on it to change it to everyone, and everyone will see your comments. All right, so Tara, what's the question for this morning?
Let me just change mine to everyone. Okay. Yeah, so last week, for those of you that were here last week, I'm starting my questions around the sense doors. So sight and sound and taste and feel. And last week we did sound, and what sound was one of your favorite sounds, and why was that? And so today I want to actually go to the sense of smell or scent. And as you think about that, what is a scent that is evocative of a memory and or a pleasant feeling or emotion in the body? I think it's worth also mentioning that both, and with all of the sense doors, there can be those things that are positive and those things that feel less positive or resistant. So, a scent that might be unpleasant, there tends to be a particular reaction in the body. So from a mindfulness perspective, these scents, the sense of smell or taste or touch, can be both pleasant or unpleasant. I mean, rarely is one of those in a neutral category, but occasionally. So the question, I'm going to frame it more in a positive way, but what is a scent that's evocative of a memory for you, a pleasant memory or a pleasant feeling? And Suzanne, let's go ahead and start with you. And I think, you got the question. Okay.
Yeah, so the first thing, when we were talking about this a little bit this morning, the first thing that came to my mind is there's a sunscreen that a smell from a sunscreen that will always remind me of the beach. And it was a sunscreen called Sea and Ski.
Oh, yes.
SEA and Ski.
Yes.
And there's very few sunscreens, because so many of them have coconut in them, but so very few sunscreens that have the same scent that just smells like the beach. And we spent a lot of summers on the beach in Long Island. So that's something that brings my mind back.
Do they still make Sea and Ski?
Sea and Ski.
They still make it? Oh, okay.
No,
yeah.
They don't. But there's been a few, like I remember picking up a candle in a store one time, and the candle smelled just like that sunscreen.
So interesting. Yeah. I know. Wow. Do you remember Bain de Soleil?
Yes, I remember Bain de Soleil.
Yeah, really. So the one for me is the smell of lilacs in the spring will always remind me of my grandmother.
Mm,
It really, I can't even without smell, but just even the sight, it immediately, my grandmother, my dad's mom, is so present to me because she loved them. And when I was little, we cut the bush in her yard and put them in water. So it's yeah, and also, tied in with this question, I would say, notice the physical experience in the body, when you bring forth that scent. What do you notice physically?
yeah.
So let's see what's coming
Yeast,
in.
yeast rolls baking, my mother's cologne, smell of coffee at home when it's brewing or near
Oh,
work. Uh, fresh basil in her
oh,
garden, baby powder, my newborn grandchild. Oh, wow.
wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
these are, it's,
Coconut,
wow, so fun to read. Onions and garlic and olive oil. Yes.
yes, my
Uh,
goodness. Homemade
huh.
spaghetti sauce, grinding coffee.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
a second, yeah, take that second to notice
And
childhood
scent
glucose.
is so closely linked with memory, that any research done on scent, it's often tied to memory. So you can recall exactly where you were when you smelled that. It brings you to that place. And um, yeah, it's a helpful thing to kind of watch what the mind does around that. So last week was sound, this week scent, and where the mind goes, and just keeping an eye on that, and also feeling the impact in the body. They're so very closely related, um, and an opportunity. It just, because I think all throughout our day, we have opportunities to bring awareness to whatever is happening, as a way to both enhance the experience, so that you're fully feeling it, but also for the things that are unpleasant, a scent that might be unpleasant. It's also an opportunity um, to actually work with resistance and see if you can drop the resistance and just notice unpleasant, and that's just simply what it is. And we start to gain more facility with working with those things that are actually unpleasant. Whereas just the sense of resistance, um, it doesn't allow us to work with it, because usually resistance can involve distraction of some kind. So this is, we just have these opportunities all throughout the day. It's just easier with stuff that's pleasant. And so I like to form the question around that too. Um, but we'll continue with, just working with the senses as we go through the next few weeks. But with that, I would say let's go ahead and jump into guided practice. And as Suzanne said, they're typically about 12 minutes. I've been upping it a little bit, so we might do more, like closer to 14. I also tend to be silent for much of the practice, except in the very beginning. So I will help settle us in, and but then there will be periods of silence that could be, 3 or 4 minutes, and then I might just offer just a check to see where the mind is, and a reconnect with whatever anchor you're using for the wandering mind. Just keep in mind the wanders. We're not trying to actually stop it. We're just, what we're doing is we're seeing where the mind has gone and that we've entered into thought. And you can make a soft mental note thinking, allow the body to soften, and then escort your attention to your anchor. That could be breath sensation anywhere in the body where it's most pronounced when you inhale and exhale. Could be sound, Could be palms of hands resting on the top of the thighs. So you've got some options. So we're just simply by bringing attention back over and over again to an anchor or a stabilizer, we're bringing some calibration to the mind so that mindfulness can work better. Mindfulness just simply does its job better when the mind has some steadiness. So let's go ahead and settle in. Eyes open or closed, standing or sitting, whatever feels best this morning. Take a couple deep breaths, making the exhalation longer than the inhalation, just as a way to settle in and settle any surface tension. And making any micro movements in the body so that you're sitting in a way that is upright and engaged, yet at the same time, relax to the degree that you can. So an upright spine with the rest of the body softening around the spine, but holding yourself in a way that is engaged, connected, and letting go of all that has happened so far this morning and releasing anticipation of what's next. So bringing the mind and the body together in this moment. And noticing physical expression in the body from the activity of your day so far. So a pulsing or vibration, but what's the experience of the body right now? What are the sensations that are being known? It could be temperature, points of contact, tingling, heartbeat. And bringing forth a curious and receptive mind, attitude in the mind. So whatever is happening, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. And let's expand awareness outside of the body, to the room or outside of the room to include sound. And allowing sound to remain as it will, beginning to bring awareness back inward, taking a moment to see what's going to help stabilize the mind this morning. What could you return to over and over again? So as you breathe in and out, where do you feel the breath? Internally, where do you feel it? Is it the belly or the chest or the nostrils? You could also use a point of contact with the back of the body and the surface or the palms of the hands on your thighs. And each time the mind wanders, returning to the feeling. And sound is also an option. So go ahead and see what's going to work for you this morning. And once you've selected the anchor, allow that to work with that for the remainder of the practice. And each time a thought slips in unnoticed and then is noticed, not a problem. Make a soft mental note, thinking. Check in with the body. There's often a little contraction when thought slips in. Allow the body to soften and return to tracking sensation or sound. And again, noticing where the mind is, softening the body and returning to your anchor. And as we bring this meditation to a close, may we be peaceful and at ease. May our heart be soft and open. May we be safe and protected, and our bodies healthy and strong. And may the merit or the goodness of our practice be for the benefit of all beings. And as you are ready, just taking a moment to maybe do a little bit of a stretch and to reorient to the room that you're in, actually kind of stretch, look around a little bit. Yeah, and so, opportunity to talk about how the practice was, any observations, and also to share resources, and Q&A. Yeah. Yeah,
Thank you so much, Tara.
of course. Of course. Yeah.
It's interesting, as you were mentioning about scents, how many of these, the scents were food oriented.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
some of the, might be family traditions with the spaghetti sauce and the onions and the bread.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Right. And, evocative of family. And
mhm.
yeah, there's something about food. And then you put the scent and the memory and I think, also just nature and flowers, it's another one that is pretty easy to make some memory or connections with. Um, yeah. But Suzanne and I were talking earlier about the less pleasant when you have a dog that rolls in things that he shouldn't roll in. And but it's actually a good, like, just seeing, what arises around that. Yeah, it's all, it's all allowed, it's all um a way to work with the things that are both pleasant and unpleasant.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and memories. It's funny. This, when you talk about memories that come up or things that we remember more easily, I was thinking of this magnet that someone showed me once that said, "My ability to remember lyrics from old '80s songs far surpasses my ability to remember why I walked into the particular room."
Yeah, that's so good. Right. Yeah.
things that really stick in our heads versus,
Yeah. And
you know,
again, like going back to hearing and yeah, how we take things in and what we recall and remember. And but you know, I would say may your day be filled with more pleasant than unpleasant smells today.
absolutely.
Yeah, and I would say, you know, if there's nothing else, we're off a couple minutes early, unless Suzanne, anything, any final thoughts or
No. Just
yeah, it can be
that a
hard to
pleasant
hold
scent
and
reminds me of the farm. Yes, yes, for sure.
yes.
Yeah,
Um,
no, not much else. Just to we'll be back on
mixed manure,
Tuesday.
not a pleasant, huh?
Yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday with Shanti Douglas will be with us.
Oh, great. I just wanted to comment on Teresa's comment. It can be hard to hold and observe the unpleasant. Yeah. And just a really good opportunity for practice, you know, and it's just simply, it's not about that the reaction to it is wrong. It is all allowed. So that's, you know, whatever is arising, just the capacity to see that it's there and to feel it physically in the body. That's your practice. That's doing it. Yeah. Yeah, that's all. I just wanted to get that in.
Yeah. Well, thank you for guiding us through, Tara. We really
Of course.
appreciated the peaceful practice and the ideas of connecting with sense. We'll kind of take that into our weekend.
Yes.
And thank you everyone else for joining.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Yeah, and we'll see you. Hope you have a good end of your week and weekend, and we'll see you next week. Okay. Bye-bye.